Hello. Hello everyone, hello everywhere. Welcome back to Way Out There, the show that talks about the strange, the bizarre. Yeah, I don't want that. Yeah, I'm done with that. Way Out There, the strange, the bizarre, the unusual. Welcome back to Way Out There on GJRB Online. This is the show that, and on Freestyle Friday, and this is the show that talks about the weird, the unusual, the strange, and all that stuff. And once again, we are bringing you radio at its very best. Spreaker's answer to Coast with AM with George Norrie. We just talk about some of the unusual things that go on around the world. You know what I mean? And we've got a lot of really good stuff. So I hope you'll stay with me this afternoon, and we'll give you a chance to ring in too today as well. Lines are opened. I have the Skype line open. Gary.Rustin. And you can call me on Skype. If you're a follower on Facebook, you can just call me on the Messenger line. I got it right here on Messenger, and you can contact me there. And we will be talking at you today about strange stuff from beyond and all that good stuff. And we've got a lot of really good things, so we're going to get started. I want to take a look here at a few things. First off, I'm going to be posting this around again as we're on live with the second part of our show. I'm going to be shifting around here and putting our show up from time to time, doing scroll through social media, and going into our messenger line and seeing if there's people out there. So we're going to be doing that today. So I hope you'll join me today. Way Out There, the show that talks about all kinds of stuff. The bizarre. And, we're going to do that right now because it's time to do that. You know, the story about all those strange things that, around the world, news happenings around the world that I call strange but true. Yeah, we got it. All right, strange but true. And let's see. Let's take a look at some of those stories, including the one I was just talking about earlier. A flat earther. You know, those strange and unusual people who think that, for some oddball reason, that you can build a rocket and send yourself into outer space. That's what they think. This flat earther told them, it was told by that he cannot blast off into the sky 500 miles off of public land. He's a 61-year-old. He's a 61-year-old. 16 is being drove. He's a 61-year-old stuntman. He's an amateur flat earther. He's on them flat earther theories. Mad Mike Hughes planned to launch himself 1,800 feet up at 500 miles per hour, a steam-powered rocket over Mojave Desert in a ghost town of Amboy, California, last Saturday. Anyway, he wants to prove that the Earth is flat. He's going to prove it, stupid fool. According to a report, Hughes told the Washington Post, Big Daddy government has thrown a few obstacles this way. Land management has confirmed that they had no record of giving Hughes verbal permission to hold our lands, and he had previously claimed, meaning that he is a rocketeer, he decided to delay the launch date and move it 3 miles down the road. What difference does it make? You can move it 3 miles down the road, and another 3 miles down the road is still on public land. This guy's really nuts. Of course, this is West Coast left-wing nuts. Anyway, Hughes said, quote, I don't see the launch happening until Tuesday, which about it falling. I didn't hear anything about this launch happening. Days to set up, and it's not always because it's not supposed to be easy. He stated that he went on to quote that someone from our local office reached out to him after seeing some of these news articles about this launch, because he said that in the news at them. This is according to BLM spokesman Samantha Storms. Anyway, this guy, some injuries in 2014 on an attempt to do this. But intense G-forces and rough landings. Most noted, it's only recently become a flat earth convert after struggling for months to raise funds. Hence the research flat earth the site of his rocket. And he used plans to launch himself progressively higher into the sky. This guy's nuts. I'm telling you, this guy's a screwball. These flat earthers are they really think that they're going to actually go up there to only prove them wrong. That's what it's going to do. It's going to prove them wrong, because we all know it's a sphere, okay? They're just doing rules and they want to disagree with us. See, that's why they do this, okay? They do this because they want to start an argument. It's claiming that the earth is flat. Well, I've got this flat earth theory, and Neil deGrasse Tyson, I've got a story coming up here in a little while with this Neil deGrasse Tyson. He claims that this whole thing was a flat earth theory. What could happen if the earth was flat? What would happen? I'm going to play that piece up, because it's like I've said before. These are your flat earth fools, and they need to hear and listen. Okay, because they don't realize that God didn't make the earth flat. He made it round, a sphere. If it was flat, it would have no room in outer space for it. Okay? We're a vast earth. There's no way in God's green earth that we would be flat. Okay, this guy's nuts. Alright? This guy's absolutely nuts. Total screwball. I'm going to go to that page. I'm going to see if I can find that Neil deGrasse Tyson piece. Because these people are just hilarious. They actually sit there and they think that the earth is flat. This is just, gotta stop, people. Here it is. This is Neil deGrasse Tyson's video, but you're gonna hear the audio portion of it. Talking about what would it be, if the earth was flat. Okay? And listen to this carefully, because I'm not going to repeat it again, okay? All you flat earther, listen very, very, very closely to this video. See, you have to pay attention to this whole bit, okay? What is a flat earth? What if the earth were flat?
Today, it's nearly impossible to believe the earth is anything but round. But for most of it, the earth was flat. The one concept our ancient ancestors were missing was gravity. Gravity's effects are the key to determining whether the earth is actually flat or not. On a sphere, gravity pulls in the same direction everywhere on the surface. But on a disk, gravity changes direction as you move toward the edge. At the center, you feel a downward pull, just like on spherical Earth. But as you move out, gravity starts pulling sideways as well as downwards. This would wreak havoc on sports played in different parts of the world. A ball thrown straight up in the air midway out would curve down and backwards toward the disk's center. Plus, that ball wouldn't go nearly as high or far as a ball thrown up at the edge, where gravity's downward pull is practically zero. But sports are just the beginning. Since plant stems grow opposite to the direction of gravity, an effect called negative gravitropism, you'll see forests grow at an increasingly sharp angle the farther you are from the center. Continue toward the edge and you'll feel like you're climbing a hill that's growing steeper with each step as the backward pull of gravity takes over. At Earth's end, that hill will feel like a 90-degree cliff pulling you straight back to the center. But if you could make it over the edge and stay And on the thin outer part of the disk, you will feel a downward pull, just like on spherical Earth. However, living here would be like living in a desert. Gravity's backwards effects pull on the oceans too, making it possible for any water to reach the edge.
See?
Instead, sea levels will gradually rise as you travel in, making the world's center an
Just proves that flat earthers are
aquatic
fools.
metropolis. So, the next time you see an apple fall straight to the ground, be thankful the Earth is round. Because if it were flat, that apple might actually hit you in the face.
Yeah, imagine that. There you go. From Neil deGrasse Tyson called out to flat earthers that that is what would happen if the Earth were actually flat. Okay, so I think that it's time for you flat earther theory people to just quit. Okay, because you're not going to win this. You're not going to win this battle. You're not going to. All right, they're not even near it. Okay, it's just that simple. Your theory is definitely in the water, drowning very fast. I just laugh at that whole thing. When they started bringing that up, I thought, here we go, another left-wing screwball has to disagree with people just because. You know, it just makes me laugh. It just does. Just, complete fools that don't know what they're talking about. You're listening to Way Out There on GJRB Online here on Spreaker across America. If you disagree with me, you can just get in the chat room and we'll talk about this. And, of course, Gary.Russin on Skype. You want to do battle with us? We'll chat. You got Way Out There, be online on Spreaker across America, and we've got some more stuff here. We're going to do more interesting stories and stuff, so why don't we get into that. I'm going to take a look and see if there's any late-breaking news here, and while we're doing that. Find out what's in the news going on this afternoon. It's Friday, and like I said before, Friday, they're very slow news days. And so I do different things on Fridays than I do during the rest of the week. I leave the lines open on Fridays, and it's all freeform all the time on Fridays. So I can leave it wide open for all kinds of stuff. And so I do that. I'm going to continue on now here on Way Out There. It's more strange but true because it is definitely strange. And of course, more of those mystery booms are baffling some people. This coming out of Newsweek, they're talking about this. The loud booms. They're startling people across the United States, but it's unclear actually what's happening or it's being related. Residents in Alabama and those areas are hearing them across the United States. Alabama, Idaho, Michigan, New Jersey reported hearing these similar booms, but recently the noises were heard in Colorado as well. On Monday, the sounds left CBS Denver's meteorologist Chris Spears baffled. The only possible conclusion he could offer to those is that meteors from the Leonid meteor shower were bursting in the sky, creating loud noises. Dawn Haranek is an astronomer expert, struck down that theory, saying that the meteors produced by the Leonist, I think it's pronounced that, were too small for that to happen, according to the CBS Denver report. And the explosion-like noises offered believed to have been better to answer what happened on Monday night. An empty oil storage tank overpressurized near the region where residents were calling about those booms. Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commissioner told officials on the Denver Channel that due to the pressure, the lid blew from the potentially resulting in loud noises. Following that incident, oil and gas production company filed an accident report which stated the function of the production vessel led to the overpressurization of a fuel and empty storage tank, were resulting in the lid being compromised. I mean, they come up with that theory, which does make sense. This is being heard in Denver, so I mean, you're talking about the possibility there that could be it for Denver, but it doesn't explain some of the loud booms that people have been hearing in other parts of the world. That would not be the noise of loud booms in other parts of the country or other world, for that matter, other than. So there are other underlying reasons for this. So let's keep on with that one. That's pretty interesting. I'm going to go down the line. Now I'm going to, as you remember straight, I had originally planned a video version of the Gary Russin program, which I was going to do on YouTube. That got canceled back on the 27th of November. I pulled that show. I will be rescheduling that show for January. Date to be announced for a video version of the Gary Russin program, and I'm going to be showing you some videos. And one of them is a strange owl-looking creatures. Owl-looking creatures. Now this is interesting, right? This comes, it's in a foreign country, so I mean the video has foreign time. You can't really understand what they're saying. But this is in India. Video from a construction site there became viral, and the viral sensation all over the country. Some viewers suspected that the footage was featured aliens. It was posted late last week, or maybe a couple weeks ago. Social media in India there. Amazing video features two spooky-looking creatures seemingly standing on two legs and looking at a cameraman in a menacing fashion. His humanoid-looking appearance of entities, ET hypothesis, proposed by many as a video circulating around online. These guys, they look like owls, you know. Weird. I've looked at this video before, and it is spooky looking. It's creepy looking, too. Avian experts in that footage say that the aliens are actually bones that were not perched because they were standing on a flat surface. Why? Okay. Calculating the stares that the would-be ET's birds were surprised by the considerable attention they were receiving after being discovered at a construction site. At least they hope in this case. But I looked at this thing 3 or 4 times and going, this has to be like costumes, and it's got to be some kind of Photoshop. I mean, they could do that easy. I mean, they could find costumes like anybody can make something like that, given the talent to do so. I mean, that doesn't take a rocket scientist to do that. I mean, really, I just don't see this as as anything, really. But your opinion is welcome. I really couldn't tell you. Quite frankly, I think it's funny-looking things. But your opinion is welcome on it. If you go to coasttocoastam.com and post it, and that picture should be there. Be Coast to Coast AM, www.coasttocoastam.com/article/watch alien owls film in India. And look at that video. As a matter of fact, what I'll do, if you follow me on Pinterest, I will post that video. As a matter of fact, I will see what I can do to post that picture. because it's our looking thing. It is really strange. Don't know if they have on Pinterest, but I'll try to get it on there for you to have a look. So Pinterest followers, just go to Pinterest. A little later on, I'll post it. And it is bizarre, to say the least. I mean, it is weird. Anyway, you're listening to Way Out There on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. Coming up at the other side of the half hour, we'll talk more on this. And then coming up after that break, we're going to do Linda Moulton House Earth Files and talk about those strange booms heard across America that we've been talking about. And again, I'm going to call for anybody out there listening who may be either listening to this live, which I doubt, or listening to the on-demand podcast. Call for people who may have or at one time have died and came back. If you experience such a thing, if you've experienced dying and coming back, and you want to be on the program, just send me an email. But here's the thing, okay? Send me an email, GaryJ65@yahoo.com or GaryJ0213661@gmail.com, or leave a message on the Spreaker public site in the chat room where you're listening, if you'd like to do that, with information on how to get in contact with you. And we're going to get a few other people on there too who may have done that. So, and be on the show and tell me your story about how what you saw when you were there. Because it's an interesting thing. It really is. And I found I had the video, but it disappeared on Facebook, but I did save it. And it's on the computer, so I'm going to listen through to find out what that doctor's name is once again, and try to see if maybe I can get a hold of him. But I sincerely doubt. I'm just going to see if I can find some other person who's an expert on the subject of near-death experiences to be on the program. And we'll do a Way Out There show, which will be free-form completely, just internet, no FM. We're just going to do internet on this one. But the 9-foot listeners, whoever they are, will hear it later when I repeat it on the 9-foot signal. So either way, it'll be on. And we'll talk about this because it is indeed a fascinating story indeed. All right, tell you what we're going to do right now, though. I'm going to give you our weather on the 5s. We're going to do that. And give you some temperatures across America in different key cities. We're going to do that coming up this afternoon on Way Out There here on GJRB Online. I'm glad you could be part of the show. We're glad that we could be there. If you're listening anywhere across America, I'd love to hear from you. And we're going to open up the lines a little later on. We're going to do our 45 minutes of nonstop talk a little later on and leave it open for you here on GJRB Online to talk about whatever you want to talk about regarding end-time prophecies and stuff like that, too. And we're going to talk about that. Interesting stuff. And we'll talk about the war on Christmas. If you were listening to us earlier, we had Way Out, we had the last 7 days on, and that was a one from the 29th. And talked about some of the stuff on the war on Christmas. The left-wingers have the war on Christmas. So we're going to talk about that coming up. And we're going to continue talking about strange stuff here on GJRB Online, Way Out There on Spreaker. Next week, I'm planning on another Way Out There show, and I'll give you details on that coming up. And it's basically going to be talking about Santa Claus. So you're going to want to check that out. The mysteries of Santa Claus. Yeah. But meanwhile, though, it's time to do weather on the 5s. And see what weather is cooking here. Continually gusty winds, very dangerous fire conditions continue across southern California. There's a red flag and a high wind warning there remaining in effect. Meanwhile, there's a strong cold front now coming through. Winter weather expected from South Texas across parts of the deep south. Yeah, even the deep south and the southern Appalachians. The snow's going to move in the mid-Atlantic and parts of the northeast and New England as well. And I was looking at some of the photos from some my friends on Facebook who have posted some snow already going on in different parts of the country, even back home in my home city of Pittsburgh. So we're getting it, folks. We're already starting. The winter is about to begin. You're listening to Way Out There on GJRB.
End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end-time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast Wednesdays and run live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB. The Christmas lights are on and the music is playing for another bright holiday of programming. This year, more Christmas music with American Christmas Jukebox and more shows and more of your favorite Christmas classics. Christmas service from Christian Community Fellowship Church. Classic radio with a Christmas Carol starring Lionel Barrymore as Scrooge from a CBS Campbell's Playhouse with Orson Welles from Christmas Eve 1939. It's a bright holiday to remember.
Now, going on GJRB.
Website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
Suicide's increasing among the youth, and many of them playing suicide games. This has to stop. Parents, watch your kids, and if you feel there's something going on and they are considering suicide, please talk to them. Help them. And if it seems hopeless, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number is 1-800-273-8255. They can help. It's free and confidential. Your call will be answered by a trained counselor in a local crisis center. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline can help.
And invite you to tune in again tomorrow live for the Gary Russin Program Extra. We've got an interesting show just talking about some of the news going on across America. And we're going to see if we can get more listeners. And so tomorrow, live, Gary Russin Program Extra. Be live at 2 o'clock Central Time, tentatively on GJRB. I'm Gary J. Rustin. Thanks for tuning in this afternoon. We got a lot of stuff going on here, and glad you could be with me today for all this interesting stuff here on Way Out There. The strange, the bizarre, the unusual, the things that go bump in the night. We got it all here. That's right. And you want to check out our show, we love to hear from you. If you want to get in on the act, we've got a lot of really good things we're going to be doing in the next half hour. We've got more conversation. We've got a 45-minute nonstop talk period. And we're going to be doing scroll through social media and Linda Moulton Howe's Earth Files coming up. And we'll talk about some of those strange booms and other interesting stories. And we're also going to go through a lot of interesting stories along the way, and maybe a little piece on that near-death experience that we can talk about, because I've got some really good pieces on there. You're going to want to listen to this. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Got more Way Out There coming your way next.
End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end-time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast Wednesdays and run live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB.
Imagine one day tuning around on your internet radio only to find a station playing old radio programs complete with commercials and thinking, what am I tuning into? The past? You might be, or it's just GJRB Online and Radio Land.
A day of nothing but classic radio shows, back-to-back with classic commercials in between. Like the days of radio. Almost like your computer is picking up signals through time. Closer than you'll ever get to time travel. Radioland.
If you're a new emerging artist and want your songs out there, the place to go is Reverb Nation. Reverb Nation, a website purely devoted to new music from new artists from every town and every state in the U.S. If you're a solo artist and recording your own music, it's Reverb Nation. Stop on by, visit, listen to the music, check out the site, www.reverbnation.com. Put your music out there and gain an audience. Go to Reverb Nation for the best in new music. And remember, if you like your songs played on GJRB Online's Up and Coming, drop me an email at GaryJ65@yahoo.com. And I'll be playing your song on all GJRB Online shows. Remember the name, Reverb Nation.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzz driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You could kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
The Christmas lights are on and the music is playing for another bright holiday of programming. This year, more Christmas music with American Christmas Jukebox and more shows and more of your favorite Christmas classics. Christmas service from Christian Community Fellowship Church. Classic radio with a Christmas Carol starring Lionel Barrymore as Scrooge from a CBS Cable's Playhouse with Orson Welles from Christmas Eve 1939. It's a bright holiday to remember.
Now, going on GJRB.
You're listening to Way Out There on GJRB Online. If you'd like to talk to Gary, on Skype at Gary.Russin. If you don't want to get on the radio, you can contact Gary via the chat room on the GJRB public site by clicking the comic book icon on the GJRB widget. And now, back to Way Out There on GJRB.
And welcome back to Way Out There on GJRB Online on Spreaker across America. Hi everyone, I'm Gary J. Russin. Hope you'll stay with me this afternoon. Best of the best in internet talk radio, and we've got a lot of that going on here today. And you could be part of the show. And we're just talking about some of the strange stuff that just happens to go on. And hope you'll tune in today here on GJRB. And glad you could be part of the show here. And wow, yeah. Anyhow, a lot of good stuff on the way. We got 40. I'm going to gander now at about maybe coming up. We'll have 40 some odd minutes of nonstop talk. About 43. Let's see, about 43 minutes or so of nonstop talk coming up. So it's going to be real good. So we'll have more time to really spend. So we're going to be doing a lot of that Linda Moulton House stuff on the other side. And we're going to just talk about different things and hear what you have to say. And we'll have it coming up here. And always glad to hear a lot of stuff that you're interested in. If you like this program, I'm glad you could be aboard. And stay with me this afternoon for some of the strange stuff that we talk about here on Way Out There. The strange, the bizarre, the unusual. Yeah. The things that go bump in the night. And that's what we're doing right now. Friday afternoon, semi-freestyle, whatever you want to call it. Just open show. Just having a lot of fun, doing crazy stuff. And thank you for tuning in. And if I'm looking at numbers, nothing, you know that crazy guy on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, like him, I feel like kind of like him. Listeners, there they are. Go to my site, look at the zeros, nothing. Anyway, glad you could be aboard anyway. Listening as a podcast. Either way, we're here. Way Out There show on GJRB Online. And this is where it's happening. And I enjoy doing this show. It's it's crazy. It's just that much fun. And you can be part of it. Just join me here. And we can talk on the internet radio. We've got a lot of things coming up. We'll do another weather on the fives coming up about 5 till. We'll give you some temperatures across America and give you some of the weather across America because it's getting to be winter. Yeah, winter. And just call me winter, please. Anyway, it's going to be that kind of show today. Slow and pokey as usual. My normal self. This afternoon on Way Out There. Here on GJRB Online. And kind of going through and finding different things to talk about while we're doing our strange but true stuff. We're going to continue that. If I find any more strange but true stories, I'll bring them across. Got a lot of them. So, I just come up with stuff. I just look around and on the Coast to Coast site. That's where I find a lot of my stories of the strange and the bizarre right there, and I just put it in. I plug it in, and to see what cooks, and that's what we're doing right now here on Way Out There. The strange, the bizarre, the unusual. Crazy stuff that otherwise goes on in the natural string of things. That is what we do. And if you'd like to be part of it, you're welcome to it. Skype is open. Gary.Russin. And what happened? Okay, I'm not... Where is my sound? What happened here? Something got pulled out of the wall here. Okay, what was that? All of a sudden, it's like it went silent on me there for a minute. What is that? I didn't pull anything. I don't know. Every once in a while, I got a lot of wires on the floor, and then what happens is that if I pull it with my foot, or my foot gets in the way, it'll pull something. I've got to find a new wire arrangement back here. There's just no doubt about it. Because every once in a while, I'll just pull something and something will go silent. What? Oh, come on, It's just like I pulled a wire somewhere. And suddenly I was not hearing anything in my headphones. And I'm going, what? Where is it? Where's it? What happened? Where did I go? Oh, well, I found it. Anyway, that happens. Glad you could be aboard. I'm Gary J. Russ, and welcome to Way Out There here on GJRB Online. And glad you could be sticking around for a really good show. And if you want to be part of it, you're welcome to join in the conversation coming up next hour. Got a lot of things happening. And we'll be talking more about those loud booms. And also a story about some loud booms in Australia. Now, I don't think there's government exercises going on that far. Okay, Australia? I don't think so. Sincerely doubt it. There might be. I mean, Australia could be doing military exercises too, but I mean, this is just far beyond bizarre, folks. I mean, really. I mean, there's like all kinds of strange booms, and they're explaining some of them, which sound legit and pretty well understandable. But when you look at the other sightings, there sounds that people have been hearing, I mean, it's just plain bizarre. I mean, it just, where is this all coming from? I mean, are we getting where's all these noises coming from? So we're going to talk about that this afternoon, and we're going to play a few interviews about it, and you can put in your 2 cents worth in as well, and let me know what you think. And if you had a near-death experience, you're welcome to call in and tell me about it in the next 45-minute segment. And we'll talk about it here on Spreaker at Gary.Russin. And you can talk to me on the air. And if you have if you experienced life after death, you're welcome to be a part of the show. So I hope you'll stay with me this afternoon, way out there on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. Next week, we're going to do this show again, and we're going to be talking about Santa Claus, the mysteries of Santa Claus. Next week on Way Out There. We'll be right back. The Christmas lights are on, and the music is playing for another bright holiday of programming. Join GJRB again this year for the best in holiday internet entertainment. From all-time Christmas favorites to classic radio programs for the golden days of radio, GJRB will keep you entertained with the best of the holidays. More American Christmas jukebox shows, the annual running of Campbell's Playhouse with Orson Welles and the radio version of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, starring Lionel Barrymore as Scrooge, along with Christmas episodes of your favorite classic radio shows. Then, New Year's brings you another Gary Russin year-end review show, remembering the best of the Gary Russin program in 2017. I'll be bringing you the best clips of GRP from January to December. Now, going on GJRB.